Have you ever noticed that curious little habit many dogs have of licking their owner's feet? It might seem like just a funny or random quirk, but this behavior actually carries a lot more meaning than we might think. For dogs, licking is a form of communication, a way to express emotions and even gather information about you, without you saying a single word. What looks like a simple, innocent lick can actually reveal how your dog sees your relationship, what they're feeling, or even what they need in that moment. And that's where living with dogs becomes even more fascinating. They're always trying to tell us something. We just don't always know how to listen. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 main reasons why your dog licks your feet, and explore the world of connections, emotions, and silent messages hidden behind those licks. And at the end, we'll share a surprising fact about how dogs can actually detect your emotional state just by smelling you, something you might never have imagined. But that explains a lot about how incredibly sensitive these animals are. Stick with us until the end, because this insight might just change the way you see your best friend. Smell and taste. To us, feet are rarely associated with anything pleasant. But to dogs, they can be a source of curiosity and even enjoyment. That's because dogs have an incredibly powerful sense of smell, far more developed than ours, and they experience the world through scents and tastes. What goes unnoticed by us is pure information to them. Throughout the day, our feet collect sweat, natural body odors, tiny skin particles, and traces of environments we've walked through. All of that creates a unique scent that your dog picks up on easily. To them, your feet have a distinct smell, like an aromatic fingerprint. So when they lick your feet, they're not just playing. They're getting to know you more deeply, strengthening your bond, and picking up clues about where you've been, how you're feeling, and even who you've been around. And it's not just about the smell. Taste plays a role too. Human sweat contains minerals and salts that some dogs find interesting or even tasty. So licking your feet can also be a pleasant sensory experience for them, combining curiosity, affection, and a kind of tasting of your presence. What might seem like a weird gesture to you is, for your dog, a way to connect with what they love most, you. Affection and love. When a dog licks your feet, one of the most common explanations is simply that they want to show affection. For dogs, licking is an instinctive behavior that starts when they're still puppies. Their mother licks them to clean them, stimulate circulation, and build a strong bond. As they grow, they carry this behavior into adulthood as a way to emotionally connect with members of their pack. And that includes you. Licking your feet might seem a bit odd to us humans, but to dogs, it's just another way of saying, I trust you. I enjoy being with you. You matter to me. It's an intimate, natural gesture that carries much more emotional weight than it seems, especially when your dog does it during calm moments, after spending the day with you, or while snuggling on the couch or bed. A sign of respect. Besides being a sign of love, licking your feet can also have a deeper social meaning in dog language. Respect and submission. In the canine world, hierarchy is natural. Dogs live in structured social groups where each member has a defined role, and they learn early on to recognize who the pack leader is. When a dog licks their owner's feet, they might be expressing something like, I recognize you as my leader. I feel safe with you. This behavior is especially common in dogs with a more gentle, submissive, or sensitive temperament. The feet, being close to the ground and easily accessible, are the perfect spot for a respectful gesture. It's like a canine bow. This kind of licking is usually calm and unhurried, happening during peaceful moments, after playtime, during rest, or when your dog senses that you're relaxed. It's important to note that submission doesn't mean fear or insecurity. When your dog licks your feet with this intention, they're simply reinforcing the bond and harmony between you. It's a peaceful way to maintain connection and show that they feel secure under your leadership. Seeking attention. Sometimes, licking your feet has nothing to do with smell, taste, or respect. It's simply about getting your attention. And dogs are absolute pros at that. Anyone who lives with a dog knows how quickly they learn what works when it comes to communicating with humans. All it takes is one action that gets a reaction, and they'll start repeating it. If one day your dog licked your feet and you laughed, talked to them, gave them a pet, or even scolded them, they learned that this behavior gets your immediate response. And for a dog who craves interaction with their human, any kind of attention is a reward. This behavior often shows up when your dog senses that you're distracted, busy, or focused on something else. They realize that licking your feet is a simple, direct, and effective way to make you look at them, engage, or move. It might be their way of asking for affection, starting a play session, or just saying, "Hey, I'm here, don't forget about me." While it's usually harmless, it's important to pay attention to the context. If it happens too frequently or is always paired with restlessness or anxiety, it could be a sign that your dog is bored or needs more physical and mental stimulation throughout the day. When it becomes a compulsive habit. While licking feet is usually harmless, tied to affection, curiosity, or a desire to interact, sometimes it can signal something deeper: anxiety, stress, or even compulsive behavior. What separates healthy licking from compulsive licking isn't the act itself, but the frequency, intensity, and context. If your dog licks your feet obsessively, without stopping, at any time of day, even when you're not paying attention, or if it starts to look automatic, it's time to take a closer look. This kind of repetitive behavior can be a form of emotional self-regulation, especially if your dog is feeling lonely, bored, frustrated, or anxious. Just like humans, dogs develop coping mechanisms for internal discomfort. Some chew on things, others bark excessively or hide, and some lick, whether it's themselves or their humans. The rhythmic motion of licking releases small amounts of dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and relief, which can create a vicious cycle. The more anxious they are, the more they lick, and the more they lick, the calmer they feel, but only temporarily. So if this cycle keeps repeating, the underlying issue isn't being solved, it's just being masked. In these cases, it's important to look at your dog's overall behavior. Are they active? Eating well? Playing? Going for walks? Getting mental stimulation? Changes in the environment, overly rigid routines, or long periods of being alone can all contribute to the problem. If licking your feet or any other part of the body starts to seem like an uncontrollable habit, it's best to seek professional help. A veterinarian who specializes in animal behavior or a positive reinforcement trainer can help identify the root causes and guide you through a plan to restore your dog's emotional balance. Bonus fact: your dog can read your emotions through the smell of your sweat. Did you know that dogs have a hidden superpower that goes way beyond their incredible sense of smell? They can actually detect your emotional state just by smelling your sweat, including the scent that comes from your feet. Scientific studies have shown that when we're nervous, anxious, or stressed, our bodies release specific chemical compounds through sweat. These compounds smell different from the sweat we produce when we're calm or relaxed. And dogs, with their ultra-sensitive noses, can pick up on those differences with amazing accuracy. So when your dog licks your feet, they're not just exploring the scent or taste. They might actually be reading how you're feeling in that moment. If you've had a stressful day, for example, they can sense it and may even act more gently or protectively around you. This chemical and emotional awareness is part of the deep connection dogs have with us. They're true masters at picking up on our signals, even the ones we don't realize we're giving off. So next time your pup licks your feet, remember, they might just be trying to understand your mood through the scent you leave behind. It's silent communication, but full of meaning. Now that you know the possible meanings behind this curious behavior, it's easier to see those licks in a whole new light. What might seem like just a weird little habit could actually be a rich and sincere form of communication. It could be affection, respect, curiosity about your scent, a desire for attention, or even a quiet plea for emotional support. And that's exactly what makes our relationship with dogs so special. They're always talking to us, just in a different language. A language made of gestures, looks, subtle approaches, and yes, even foot licks. The most important thing is to pay attention to the context, the frequency, and your dog's overall behavior. Understanding what's behind these small signals is a powerful way to strengthen your bond, ensure their well-being, and live this partnership in a deeper, more mindful way. So, does your dog love licking your feet too? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends, give it a like, and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you amazing content about our furry friends. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.